In today's world, we have the most inventive and efficient technologies available to everyone. We live in the heart of Silicon Valley, where most of the innovations are being cultivated and thousands of the most complex inventions are being tested for everyday use. But how did we get to this point? How did the world change from small farming villages to bustling industrial cities? The answer, of course, is the Industrial Revolution, which marked the beginning of our journey from feudalism to the factory system. People began to desert the old ways for the steam-powered, electricity-filled modern world. But what started the Industrial Revolution? The roots trace back to the fenced-off lands of entrepreneurs and the start of more efficient farming, the Agricultural Revolution. Starting in Britain, the inventions and trade that followed would set the path for the world's journey into modernization.
The Agricultural Revolution started in the feudal system of Great Britain. Serfs would work on strips of land that was constantly traded between them. A common land was shared for raising livestock like oxen, cows, and sheep. Coming from the Americas, corn and potatoes became a staple crop in Britain. Protein was added to the regular farmer's diet, thus creating a stronger and better farmer. However, nobles and other wealthy citizens began to fence off and purchase the common lands for themselves. The serfs could not do anything to take back this land due to their social position. New technologies were tested on this land by the nobles, which the peasants reluctantly adopted, as a faulty invention would mean starvation in the winter. Machines began to take over the peasants' jobs, and the British surplus spiked in addition to their population. Peasants began to flock to cities and factories looking for work. The Industrial Revolution had begun. One of the most important products in the Industrial Revolution was cotton. Wool was itchy and expensive, while cotton was softer and cheaper. However, taxes had been placed on cotton, and the cotton industry began to decline. People began to import raw cotton, and as a result, new technologies were created. One of the most important products in the Industrial Revolution was cotton. Wool was itchy and expensive, while cotton was softer and cheaper. However, taxes had been placed on cotton, and the cotton industry began to decline. People began to import raw cotton, and as a result, new technologies were created.
One of the new technologies was the spinning jenny. The spinning jenny was invented in 1754 by James Hargreaves. Whereas a normal spinning wheel would spin a single thread, a spinning jenny would spin 10 times the amount of thread, and later, even more. This helped the price of cotton thread decrease and helped sales increase. The water frame was invented by a man with the last name Arkwright in 1769. It was a loom run by water power and was much more efficient than a loom run by human power. In 1785, Samuel Crompton invented the mule. It was a mixture of the spinning jenny and the water loom, and it greatly increased the cotton production of Britain. Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin and made the separation of seeds from the cotton bloom much faster and easier for overseas trading and shipping. From a majorly agricultural economy, Britain transformed into the world's first industrial economy. The newly constructed canals, roads, and railways accelerated the expansion of trade. The volume of production in Britain increased with the introduction of new inventions. These machines manufactured more and more products to be shipped. Slave trade had also increased as well. In 1750, 43% of all British slave ships were leaving from Liverpool, and by the time slavery was abolished in 1807, 79% of all ships were leaving from Liverpool. So why Britain? Why was Britain the leader of the Industrial Revolution? Britain's transportation system helped ideas and inventions travel faster than any other place. They had the world's largest merchant marine, meaning they had a large port where merchants could sell goods. There were no internal taxes on materials imported within the country, adding to the easiness of trade in Britain. The British were skilled in business, and they purchased insurance to protect their purchases. Their overseas trade and lack of social structure helped propel Britain to a revolution even more. There were no civil wars, which allowed the British to have peaceful relations amongst themselves. These factors made Britain the leader of the Industrial Revolution. As international trade was introduced, the world became more and more modern. From the agricultural revolution came the industrial revolution, with all its inventions and later trade. The introduction of electricity brought on new inventions like the telegram and light bulb. Everyday appliances were introduced to common households. The factory system began to manufacture new goods, and later, things we use daily, like computers and iPods. Without the nobles that began to fence off peasants' common lands, the factory system, major inventions, and modern industrialism would not exist. The British agricultural revolution, trade, and inventiveness led the world to modernization.